Carolina Hurricanes are red hot and, as of right now, undefeated. Jared Ellis of Locked On Carolina Hurricanes joins us to talk about the team's exceptional start.
You are Locked On NHL, your daily podcast on the National Hockey League. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
All right, Gil Martin, glad to be with you here as we have the Monday edition of the Locked On NHL podcast, and thanks for making Locked On NHL your first listen every day. We are free and available on all platforms. One of the hottest teams in the NHL right now, the Carolina Hurricane, winning their first 7 games to start the season. And joining us right now, Jared Ellis, the host of Locked On Hurricanes, to talk about the outstanding start that his team is getting off to. And Jared, thanks for joining us today.
Yeah, not a problem. Just hanging out. Was watching the new movie with my dog. Whenever I got a message from you, I'm like, I can pause the movie for a minute. But that movie is awesome, and everyone needs to go watch it.
Well, I'm glad you're enjoying it, and that's great news. And I'm glad you could take a little time to join us. Look, right now, your team is off to an incredible start, winning their first 7 games. You look at this. They're second in the league in goals scored, first in the league in goals against. Where do you begin? What has been the key to this outstanding start for the Hurricanes right now?
Yeah, I think it's a nation of a few things, really. I think, obviously, coaching is big. Rob Brind'Amour's a heck of a coach. He just won the Jack Adams Award season. And I think you have the guys buying in to the motto and just everything that the Carolina Hurricanes are about and their culture. Guys are buying into that, and folks are wanting to come play here. You can look at that with a lot of the free agents we signed this offseason. And then the guys that have been around for a few years, guy like Jordan Staal, who has been here through it all. He was here during bad years too. But then you also have like Sebastian Aho, Andrei Svechnikov, Jordan Martinook, Jacob Slavin. These guys that have been through this rebuild and have tasted the success and have seen this Hurricanes team rebuild and into a cup contender, and they're able to attest to this culture. You can look at the success that they've had over the past few years and like, oh man, I want to go play with those guys, win with those guys, And again, I just think it's really just the culture. And then you look at the games that they played so far. They've played really good team games. Every single person on the ice is doing their job. I've said it before on my show. I know obviously I do get some flack for it because I'm in North Carolina, but very much like the New England, they go out there and they do their job. Just like the Patriots might do your job, the Carolina Hurricanes do their job.
Talk to me a little bit about Andrei Svechnikov. I mean, 7 goals in 7 games, 28 shots on goal in 7 games. That's some pretty dominant numbers early on. What is he doing so well that he's off to this hot of a start?
Yeah, I would say with Svetch, a few of his goals have been empty net goals, but they are goals nonetheless. With him, I think he's got his confidence back. I think an issue with him last year was how many he got called for. Yes, he did do some dumb stuff, but there were definitely some soft calls on there. And it's very much like anytime he got on the ice, the refs are looking for something. And I feel that really affected his confidence. And because it was anytime he was out on the ice, whistle blows, he goes and sits in the box. I think he's got his confidence back, and he got the contract that he wanted this offseason. So it's not like he has to worry about that. Like, oh crap, where am I going to play the next season? No, he knows where he's going to be for the next 8 years. and he's ready to be here. He said from the start, this is where he wants to play his entire career. And he's doing a lot of stuff I wanted to see him do after he got that contract. He is just taking the next steps to just elevate his game. I think really we're just missing him doing his signature right now.
Frederick Andersen playing lights out, a 1.33 goals against average, an incredible 956 save percentage. What has led to his outstanding numbers? Is it the defense the team is playing in front of him? Is it something he's doing differently this year, or a combination of the two?
I'm not sure there, honestly. I do think the defense here is definitely better than what was in Toronto, but there are some defensive lapses in front of him. I mean, we had to replace our entire blue line, or half of our blue line this offseason. Excuse me, I misspoke there. We had to replace half of it. So they're definitely still learning how to play with each other and gelling, and there's definitely some growing pains there. So I do think, defense definitely plays a part of it, but I think he's also healthy now. He was definitely dealing with some injuries over the past couple of seasons. He's not dealing with the Toronto media breathing down his neck, because we all know how tough that can be. And I think he's just in a system where he can, I don't know, almost breathe more. And I do think it's a combination of a few things there. I'm definitely interested to see how things go over the rest of the season, because I'm loving the hot start. Of course, my team is 7-0, but I definitely have in the back of my mind those past seasons in Toronto. Like, are we going to fall back into that, or what's going to happen? But at the end of excuse me, that's just something only time will tell.
Tony DeAngelo, been a controversial player at some of his earlier stops in the NHL. Right now, 5 assists on the power play, 8 points in 7 games. How is he fitting in, and how is he doing right now? What's keeping him going so well early on?
Yeah, controversial was a polite way of putting it there. I think with him, I think with Tony, I think at the end of the day, it's the folks around him that are helping him. One, with his off-ice issues. I think the Hurricanes, it wouldn't surprise me if they had a conversation of one strike and you're out kind of deal. And I think he's in a good environment, and I think he has good players around him to help him elevate his game. His line mate, or pairing partner, I guess you would say, is Ian Cole, who's veteran, and I think that was a good pairing for him, because it's someone that he can learn from, say. And I think Tony has something to prove, I guess you would say, with his issues and kind of how folks had written him off. I guess has a bit of a chip on his shoulder, I guess you would say. I think that's driving him. In this game, he had his first career Gordie Howe hat trick. So, I mean, that's something.
Looking ahead now, I mean, Rod Brind'Amour, such a experienced coach, seen everything in this league, both as a player, as a coach. Do you think he'll be able to keep this team on an even keel going forward?
I do. I'm confident in Rod Brind'Amour's coaching. Obviously, there are going to be ups and downs during the season, whether it's the Hurricanes, Islanders, whoever. Every team is going to have their ups and downs this season. Rod Brind'Amour has shown that he knows what it takes to win. Obviously, as he has a ring in his safe at home, he has his number up in the rafters for a reason. And then he won the Jack Adams for a reason. He knows how to coach in this league. He knows how to get through to players and get them through those rough spots. You look back to his first season as a head coach in 18-19, January didn't last in the league. Then they went to the Eastern Conference Final. He knows how to get things to click with his team and guys buy into what he's coaching. So I'm confident in him being able to coach this team as far as go.
All right. Real quick, just wanted to talk a little bit about Built Bar. You know, Built Bar has so many delicious flavors. There really is something for everyone. And when you talk to a Built Bar fan, they are definitely passionate about their favorites. And it's easy to tell why. Listen to some of these permanent flavors: mint brownie, cherry barcia, coconut, German chocolate, my personal favorite, salted caramel. I mean, sweet and salty at the same time. What could be bad about that? And if you haven't tried all the flavors, you can get a mix box. Well, you'll get 2 of each of the 9 flavors, so you could figure out which ones you love the most. And not only are Built Bar flavors the best tasting, but they're healthy too. Check out the macros. Each bar has between 17 and 18 grams of protein, only 130 to 180 calories, just 4 or 5 grams of sugar, and only 4 or 5 net carbs per bar. Amazing flavors, all tasty, all healthy. Built Bar is also the official protein bar of the U.S. track and field team. So go to Built.com right now. Use the promo code LOCK15. You'll get 15% off your order. That's promo code LOCK15 for 15% off at Built.com. So, Jared, why don't you tell our listeners and our viewers on YouTube where they can find your podcast and where they can find you on social media?
Yes, they can find Hurricanes on any streaming platform, whatever you're listening to this show on, you can find it there. And you can find the show on Instagram at LO_Hurricanes and myself on Twitter at Jared Ellis _96.
All right, Jared, thank you so much for doing this, and good luck to you and the Hurricanes along the way.
Thank you very much. Game tomorrow against Arizona, looking to go 8-0.
All right.